I've heard this. I know it. People always say that's the best investment because cameras change all the time. But we really got to get this through our skull. Hey, what's up, everybody? Aviv with the CineSummit here. Today we're going to talk about lenses, something that I think we should be talking a lot about because it's such a key aspect of filmmaking. If you're not involved in our Facebook private group that we've created, you should do that. There's a link below. The reason I'm mentioning that is because this tip is going to come by way of Adam Patch, incredible director, which you know I talk about him a lot, good friend of mine. He's in the group, and I threw out a question. I was curious what lenses are people in love with, if there's like a specialty lens that they really like that is getting them incredible results. So everybody was in there in the group and answering what they thought was incredible lenses. But Adam Patch chimed in and gave an incredible answer, which I think is so rich with information that what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that answer and we're going to dig into it. And I think there's at least like 5 or 6 great takeaways. So here's what he had to say. Hey guys, chiming in late here, but my favorite lenses at the moment are K35s. But I also wanted to make an observation that almost everyone here is calling out DSLR lenses or entry-level cinema lenses, most likely lenses that you own, instead of higher-end lenses that you can rent. I know this is because most people in this group are entry-level or working in lower budget ranges, but I think it's also a chance for me to talk about the importance of great glass. The glass is the most important part of a camera package. When I was getting started, I would pull every favor and ask people to work for free, and the only cost I paid out of pocket, oftentimes taking it out of the only profit that I was making, would be to rent a set of ultra primes. Or I would decide to rent just one amazing anamorphic prime lens and shoot the whole spot on a 50mm because I'd rather have one stellar piece of glass instead of a lower end set of 6. Not to say that the lenses you guys have called out are not good, but in my experience, one of the ways I elevated my work quickly and leveled up along the way was being a stickler on shooting on cinematic, high-quality glass. I'd challenge you guys to find chances to push yourself into this higher-end rental lens category and see your work level up. No one is expecting you to buy a $23,000 Master Prime. But shell out $250 to rent one for the day, and you're going to feel a difference. That is so jam-packed with so much stuff for us to learn from. Let's dig into it. I'm literally going to read it again, sentence by sentence, and stop and point out some of the incredible stuff that Adam Patch is saying here. Before I do that, some of you may not be aware, but Adam has been helping me along the way, critiquing some of my work, telling me where I can improve, and I've seen my game double and triple in results, and I'm getting more work from it, getting higher client work from it because of the results that I'm getting. So I'm going to put a link down below to a page that I put together where basically we are offering to do for a very limited few people, critiquing their work. It's going to be a small fee. And Adam is going to basically watch your work and then break it down. We're going to record that by, as a video and basically go through a piece of work that you present to us and break it down piece by piece to give you, tips and things that you can work on that'll take your filmmaking to the next level. So anyways, that link is down below. Check it out. It's not going to be around for too long because obviously Adam is a very busy guy. He can't do it that often. So we're going to do it like every once in a while. Right now is your opportunity. There's still a few spots left and then it'll be gone. Okay, back to what he was saying. Let me read this again and we're going to dive into it piece by piece. So he says here, hey guys, chiming in late here, but my favorite lenses at the moment are K35s. Now, I'll probably have this linked up. We should look into that and see why those are so great. I would recommend if a top director is saying that's what he's very happy with for his work, let's look into that lens. So that's first thing. Secondly, I also wanted to make an observation that almost everyone here is calling out DSLR lenses or entry-level lens, cinema lenses, most likely the ones that we own. So he's already making this a point that we're talking about the lenses that we have, and there's another world out there beyond the lenses that you own. Instead of talking about higher end lenses that you rent. He goes on to say, I know this is because most of the people in this group are entry level or working at lower budget ranges. I'm probably in that category as well. But I think it's also a chance for me to talk about the importance of great glass. So he doesn't want us, already he's hinting at, just because you're working on lower budget work does not mean that you should be, excluded from using these really expensive glass that we cannot own. So moving along, the glass is the most important part of a camera package. Full stop, period. We should really kind of think about that for a minute. We obsess about cameras, lighting, lots of stuff. Here's a top director who's working on the greatest stuff and has some of the most incredible DPs working alongside of them.
Back when they thought pink polos are hurt the ride, before Cam got the shit pop, the doors closed. I felt like bad boy street team. I couldn't work the locks. Now let's go. Take them back to the plan.
Here's a top director who's working on the greatest stuff and has some of the most incredible DPs working alongside of him. And he's telling you the lens is the most important part of the camera package. We've probably heard this. I've heard this. I know it. People always say that's the best investment because cameras change all the time. But we really got to get this through our skull. You can be working on a basic camera, and if you can put on one of these $50,000, $30,000 lens, if it can attach to it, sometimes they can't, then you're golden. You're probably going to see a huge jump in quality, much more so than if you use the lenses you have and then go rent an Alexa. It's really something that we need to kind of wrap our heads around. So moving along, when I was getting started, I would pull every favor and ask people to work for free, and the only cost I paid out of pocket, oftentimes taking it out of the only profit I was making, would be to rent a set of ultra primes. This is the sentence that I think is the most important. It's jam-packed. He would pull every favor and ask people to even work for free so that he could put that money into an incredible lens. And if he was still short, he says here, he would pull out money out of his own pocket from the little bit of profit that was available to make sure that he has a good lens. Because Adam knows one thing. Every project you do is your chance to get to that next level, to get more eyeballs and more people impressed, and to be able to up your rate because the clients will see, wow, this is an amazing piece. So he's willing to make less money in order to rent an incredible piece of lens, which will get him that beautiful look. Because let's be honest, we're watching everybody's work out there. Some of the greats. We're watching these movies by some of the best cinematographers, and we're like, wow, that looks beautiful. How can I get that? A big piece of that puzzle, of course, there's a lot of pieces, but a big one, and what Adam is trying to stress here, is the lens. And you should really be making sure to do everything you can, as he did in the beginning, to rent an incredible lens. Now, he said here to rent a set of ultra primes. Now, he goes on, and this is a very interesting point here. I would decide to rent just one amazing anamorphic prime lens and shoot the whole spot on a 50mm because I'd rather have one stellar piece of glass instead of a lower end set of 6. So another big tip. If you have the opportunity to get a lens that's just like, huge major features have been shot, are shot on it, that it's just going to give you some unbelievable look, as opposed to a really good set, but you'll get 5 or 6. You'll get a 15. You'll get an 18. The go-to is 18, 24, 35, 50, and an 85 or whatever. A set of 6, and they're decent. He would shoot an entire spot on one 50mm anamorphic and get an incredible look. And he would rather do that and have something incredible. So these are huge tips here, and I hope we all take this. I have a few projects coming up, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not gonna spend the money on the lens or on too much rental really, and just go with my gear. And because of this post, I'm thinking to myself, no, forget it. You're about to go through so much effort to create a piece that will hopefully lead to more work and better work and higher paying work, and then you miss out on a small piece of the puzzle which would have cost you, not too much in the bigger scheme of things. If you have a few $1,000s for your project, or $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is, especially in the beginning, you should be taking some of that money and putting it into renting a lens. And don't skimp out on that. This is a big deal. He goes on to say, not to say that the lenses you guys have called out are not good, but in my experience, one of the ways I elevated my work quickly and leveled up along the way was being a stickler on shooting on cinematic, high quality glass. So I love this. I mean, one of the ways he's saying when he was more in the beginning levels is the way that he got himself to on par with a lot of people. One of the ways, again, this doesn't just cover everything. Once you have a great lens and now your whole piece is going to be incredible. This is one of the things. One of the ways he's saying is that he was a stickler. I love this, that he's really like, emphasizing this. He would make sure that he would get the lens. Even if he had to flip the whole world around, he's got to have $1 million lens. And then after that, everything is secondary. So, yeah, it's a big deal again. So I'd challenge you guys, he finishes off here, I'd challenge you guys to find chances to push yourself into this higher end rental lens category and see your work level up. No one is expecting you to buy a $23,000 Master Prime, but shell out $250 to rent one for the day and you're going to feel a difference. So imagine you got a project and it only brings in $3,000. It's just for whatever, a local kind of business. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to go there for the day. I'm going to shoot, go home, edit it. It'll take me a few days, and they're going to have something great. Wonderful. Okay, fine. Two things I would say. First of all, put in a lot of time on your own pre-production on thinking of crazy ideas and great shots and whatnot, and really do a lot on the prep as opposed to just showing up and then saying, okay, what can I shoot, B-roll, and that's that. And that's number one. But putting that kind of artistic side stuff aside, rent a really good lens. So you're only getting $3,000. Go ahead and rent. He's saying $250. I'm sure that's about right. For one day to shoot something incredible, that's called an investment, investing in yourself, and you will see the results. So with that, we're going to end it. I think the point is clear. Again, links down below if you want to reserve a spot to get your work critiqued by Adam. There's a few more spots left, and then we're not going to do it for a little while. And as well as a link to the Facebook group where Adam is in, and many of you are already probably there. But if you're not, get on top of that. I'll see you on the next video, and I think we're off to a great start. 2019 is coming soon. Let's do this. Rock.